Hi friends, I am P.T. Valle, Sub-Inspector General from NCDC Nagpur. You are welcome in this presentation of bandages, types, skills for tying triangular and roller bandage and control of bleeding.
Friends, let us now have a look at parts of triangular bandages. Triangular bandage is made up of cotton cloth and has triangular shape. The bandage has one apex or point base or longest side. The length of the base is around 52 to 56 inches and two sides of equal lengths, and the length of each side is around 40 to 42 inches. It can be used as open or unfold and folded. Each of these form is suitable for application for different purposes. Let us now look at folding of triangular bandages. Cut the bandage of the size as mentioned earlier. From cotton cloth, wash the bandage with plenty of water. Dry it in hot sun. After drying, iron it and fold the bandage as follows. Fold the base about 1 or 1.5 inches upon itself. Bring the apex to the base. This is called single fold bandage. Give one more fold in the center of the bandage horizontally, which is called broad fold bandage. Again, give one more fold to the center of the broad folded bandage, which is horizontal, and it is called as narrow fold bandage. Now, bring the both ends in the center and again bring the both ends in the center just like this, and lastly give the fold in the center. This folded bandage can be kept in a polythene or first aid box or first aid pouch. When there is no dressing pad available, this folded bandage can be placed directly over the wound and the another narrow fold bandage over it to bound the place. In case of impaled injury, we require ring pad. Ring pad can be made up of triangular bandage and can be placed it over the wound without disturbing foreign body. There are certain rules for applying triangular bandages. Namely, the bandages must be clean and correctly folded as per the requirement. The injured part must not be disturbed to any great extent for the purpose of bandaging. Once the bandage is fixed, its position should not be changed by pulling or pushing it. Also, one should take care that the knot should be tied carefully and in such a way that they do not rub or irritate or cause pain to the patient. Let us now look at the triangular bandage as a sling. There are 4 types of slings. Number 1, large arm sling. Number 2, small arm sling. Number 3, cuff and collar sling. And 4th, St. John's arm sling. Let us see first the large arm sling. Stand in front of the patient. Apply the open triangular bandage to the front chest with apex towards the injured arm. Place the apex of the bandage over the shoulder and the other end hanging down towards the ground. Carry the upper end around the back of the neck and forward over the shoulder of the injured side. Then bend the injured arm carefully at the elbow and place the forearm across the chest with the hand pointed towards opposite shoulder, as can be seen here. Lower end of the bandage can now be brought over the forearm and tied to the upper end in front of the shoulder on the injured side, which is just below the collarbone. Apex is then folded towards the elbow and fixed with a safety pin as shown here. Let us now look at small arm sling. This is applied in a similar way as in long arm sling. However, the difference is that in this case we use broad fold bandage. This can be done as shown. Next is cuff and collar sling. This is also applied in a similar way as earlier. However, in this case the bandage used is in its narrow fold form, and we put a clove hitch on a wrist of injured arm as shown here. Next comes St. John's arm sling. This kind of sling is used in case of collar bone fracture. Stand in front of the patient, then bend the arm of injured side carefully at the elbow and place the forearm across the chest with the hand pointed towards opposite shoulder as is shown here. Then apply the open triangular bandage over the arm with apex towards the injured side. Place the upper end of the bandage over the other shoulder with the other end hanging down towards the ground. Carry the lower end under the armpit to the back and tie a reef knot on the opposite side of the injury. The apex is then folded towards the elbow. Let us now see the other uses of the open triangular bandages. First, we will see head bandage. This is used to keep a dressing in place on the scalp or forehead. First, place the dressing or a pad over the wound. Fold the base upon itself about 1.5 inches. Stand behind the casualty. Bring the folded base over the eyebrows of the casualty, keeping the apex towards you. Take the both ends at the back side and bring the ends in the center of the forehead and apply a reef knot at the center of forehead. Tie the ends with apexes or a tuck the ends and apex under hem, as can be seen here. The other use is of hand bandages. Now, place the open bandage on the ground, keeping the apex opposite side of the casualty and the base towards the casualty. Ask the casualty to place the wounded hand with a pad over injury. Fold the base inside up to 1 to 1.5 inches. Bring the apex back, covering the hand. Tacking the bandage properly, hold the ends and take 2 or 3 turns around the wrist. Apply a reef knot. Tuck the apex properly, as shown here. In case of foot injury, foot bandage can be tied in the similar way. Next comes chest bandages. This bandage is used to hold dressing on burns or wound of the chest. First, place the point of bandage over the shoulder on the injured side. Then, carry the bandage down over the chest so that the middle of the base is directly below the shoulder. Carry the ends around the body and tie them directly below the shoulder with a reef knot. This leaves one long end and one short end with a carry long end up. One can see the shoulder and tie to this point. In case of back injury, back bandage can be tied in the similar way. Now, let us have a look at shoulder bandage. For shoulder bandage, make a narrow fold bandage and tie it like a cross belt, keeping the knot on the same shoulder of injury. Now, take the another bandage, pass the apex under the knot, place the dressing and fold the base according to the requirement. hold the both ends and take one turn around the upper limb. Tie a reef knot. Also tie the left ends with apex. In case of hip injury, hip bandage can be tied in the similar way of shoulder bandage. Let us now have a look for face bandage. Whenever there is an injury to the face, we need face bandage. For face bandage, keep the apex upside and base downside. Bring it under the chin, hold the ends and fake it backside. Cross them pressing apex and bring in the center of the forehead as shown here. Then apply a reef knot. A care must be taken to mark on the eyes, nose and mouth. Open the bandage cut. Now, a cut can be made on these marks according to requirement, and the bandage in the similar fashion. Triangular bandages as narrow fold bandage. Narrow fold bandage can be used for number 1, keeping the dressing in place over a small area, applying pressure to the wound for purpose of stopping the bleeding, for holding the standard wooden or improvised splint in the place, and for padding splints at place where they are likely to cause pressure. In case of jaw injury, we need a jaw bandage. For this, make a narrow fold bandage, bring it under the fractured jaw, put a pad, then take the both ends equally at the top of the head and tie a half hitch as shown here. Open the knot and take front side forward and back portion little backward. Tight it properly and tie a reef knot in the center of the head as can be seen here. Let us now see how to tie simple spiral bandage for a smaller wound. For this, first clean the wound and place the pad. Start the roller bandage from lower end and from within outwards over its front as shown here. Give couple of turns around the limb to securely fix. After couple of turns, proceed over lapping 2/3 of the ending turn. Keep on going till whole pad is covered. Lastly, end with a safety pin or a stitch or a sticking plaster. For reversed spiral bandage, the beginning of reversed spiral bandage is similar as that of simple spiral bandage. When we reach to the flashy part, give one twist to each turn on the same place. Its ending should be done in the same way as that of simple spiral bandage as shown here. Let us now see what is the figure of 8 for joints. Observing all the rules for roller bandages for below the joints, fix securely with couple of turns of roller bandages. Start giving turns in figure of 8 fashion as shown here. Slowly cover whole joint and finish in the same way as in simple spiral bandage. Let us now understand spica bandage. Let us assume that there is an injury to thumb spica. Starting with all the rules, take the injured part around thumb, give couple of turns of roller bandage to fix it as shown here. Then one turn around the hand and one turn around the thumb as can be seen here. Keep on doing so, and lastly secure the end in the same way as we have performed earlier. The shoulder spike and hip spike can be done in the similar way.
Here we come to an end of presentation. Thank you.